Good, Reiki Master here at Good's Holistic Healing. Today, we want to talk about outside things that affect us. Outside situations, outside influences, outside fixes. Now, as we live our lives, we have a lot of influences on us, from parental pressures to societal pressures to even religious pressures, peer pressures, sibling pressures, many pressures out there. Many things that affect us. Many things that create who we are today through our experience. Through the experience of life. And those things, as they work with us, they become part of us. Some of them are unneeded energies today. Some of them are needed energies that still are of use. So as we do this, we know that we have had issues, and we created what we call cellular memory. Cellular memory is what has happened to us, and we react in the same way. I'll give you a good example of that is when we were a child. What could have happened was we might have had, as a toddler, we might have had as a lollipop taken away from us. Mom said, "Oh, we have to go somewhere, you can't finish that lollipop, I don't want that sticky thing in my car." So we become traumatized by that because we are so young. Because we don't understand, we don't have the way of figuring it out. We don't have the way of being able to intelligently become aware of what's actually going on. Our mind is not developed yet. So it becomes very traumatic. That trauma then becomes part of our lives. So that the next time something's taken away, the car when you're 16, because you were not doing right, you did something wrong, you came in late, whatever, you now revert back to how you reacted as a toddler when you had that lollipop taken away. When somebody comes around and a spouse, a significant other, and says, "No, we're not doing that. I'm taking that idea away from you." That we then react the same way we did as a toddler. Oh, maybe not that childish, but we still react that way. That's because of everything has gone into our subconscious, and we react as if we were in that situation again. That's what cellular memory is. So we're trying to, as we grow in our path, we're trying to rectify, we're trying to fix all those issues. I know, I'll give you another example. I know a young man or a fella who, as a child, as an infant, had a minor birth defect. And he had to stay in the hospital while his mom went home. I don't know how long he was in the hospital, 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, I don't know. Mom was home after 3 or 4 days. Now this was back in the 50s, so people stayed in the hospitals longer. That person then had, in his own mind, created, even as an infant, an abandonment issue. And then that followed him for many years. Eventually, that same person became aware of it, became aware of what happened to him as an infant, and was able to accept that, was able to work that through in an adult mind and understand what really happened. And then he was able to heal from that. He was able to forgive what had happened. He was able to accept, he was able to understand. Then he was able to then be guided into other situations and to deal with other issues in his life. You see, all these outside issues, all these outside influences create an issue within our core beliefs, within our core reactions, as to how we deal with life in today's world as an adult. Doesn't matter how old you are watching this. If you're a teenager watching this, if you're an adult watching this, you still have those issues. You still have those influences. It's influences from all the pressures that I mentioned earlier. So what do we do? Well, what we do is we go out and we say, doctor, I have a bunch of depression because of all these issues I've had. I don't realize that they're from those issues, but I have depression. I have anxiety. I have a gut problem. I have this problem. I have that problem. And the doctor gives you a pill, and that's great. The doctor helps you. Or you go to the Reiki master, or you go to the acupuncturist, or you go to the crystal healer, or you go to a sweat lodge. You go to all these different places to be fixed, not realizing the fix is inside of you. All these other things, all these other products that you're looking for, all these things that you want to have heal you from outside instead of from within, are all tools. Smudging is a good one. Smudging can take the positive ions out of your aura and leave things more clear. Reiki, crystals can also give you the vibration to become harmonious, to become one with. You see, in order to heal, we need to do it in a holistic manner. We need to deal with the doctors who deal with the physical. We need to deal with the psychologists and psychiatrists who deal with the mental. We need and the emotional. We need to deal with the Reiki masters and all the others, because they all work with parts of you. Some of them work with spiritual parts as well. Spiritual mentors, spiritual counselors, spiritual guides. All of these work together, and all of this becomes so that you can get inside of yourself to fix or heal from within. Spirit is the ultimate healer. Spirit knows what you need. Spirit is already knowledgeable, is already wise to your body, to your mental health, to your emotional health. Spirit is already wise to all that. You can be healed by getting inside of yourself and becoming one with the universe, one with your God, one with your higher power, whatever you call that. It doesn't matter. It's your path. You call to what you want. But you have to become one with, and then you will heal from the inside. You will heal from inside your body. Keeping in mind that your body is not just here. Your body is not just your physical body. You have an aura. And that aura has layers. And that is all part of your body. You don't have different bodies of aura. You have different layers of aura, all encompassing one body. And they are all interpenetrable. They come in, they go out. They all penetrate each other. They all affect each other. They all work together. And therefore, by using the smudge, by using the crystals for vibrations of your body, for your vibrations of your harmony of yourself, by using the Reiki master, the acupuncturist, all help to bring yourself so that you are capable of becoming one and working with your healing in a holistic manner. So we don't want to look for a specific outside situation to fix us. We want to look at that as a tool to help us work with ourselves. Many things can be done in that manner. I, for instance, don't believe in using processed foods. They aren't good for you. Our bodies are not made to metabolize the chemicals, to metabolize the herbicides, the pesticides. We're not made to do that. Therefore, they affect our physical. So I eat organically. Not to say I don't ever eat processed foods. but I eat as organically as possible. And I even go so far as to do a garden. Now maybe that's not for you, but I do a garden. I have a greenhouse and I put things in the greenhouse and I start them and then I put them outside and I have my gardens. And I do all of this organically. I don't use any pesticides. I don't use any herbicides other than natural pesticides like marigolds, nasturtiums. I use these things as a tool to keep my body as clean and as pure as possible. And you might say, well, that's expensive. Well, yeah, it sort of is. But it probably costs me an extra $200 a month. And that might sound like a lot. But what's an extra $200 a month to stay pure, to stay healthy, to stay harmonious? What's a $200 a month bill compared to a $10,000 bill in a hospital? Because you had problems and created things. You see, all these things that we do, all these issues that we have, all the anxieties, all the depressions, all the impure foods we eat, all the influences that we have out there, we let that create stress in us. And stress, by far, is the worst thing in the world for our health. So, we need to calm down. We need to get inside ourselves. We need to heal. We need to use a smudge. We need to do all these things to help us become one. Even using herbs. Herbs are great. Diffusers, putting in essential oils, aromatherapy. All of these things will help us, but they won't fix us. They only give us the availability to be able to get inside ourselves, become one with the Spirit, become one holistically, body, soul, and mind. And then we can become more of a healed person. We can become more accepting. We can become more forgiving. We can become more understanding. We can actually find and see and follow the guidance that we're being given. We can follow and find our passion. We can do all of these things just by getting inside ourselves. Just by healing from within and using the tools to help us, not to fix us. So many of us say, I'm going to go to the doctor and he's going to give me this pill and he's going to fix me. I'm going to go to the Reiki center and I'm going to get Reiki and that's going to fix me. I want you to fix me, Doc. I want you to fix me, Master. I want you to fix me, Crystal Healer. So many of us do that. We figure 1 hour, we go to a spiritual meeting. 1 hour a week and say, I'm good spiritually. No, you have to do it all the time. You have to be inside yourself as much as possible. You have to know that all of this is part of you. And as we do this, I want to use a little parable from possibly the Native Americans, I think this might be from. If you have a dark wolf inside you and a white wolf inside you, and you go to your spiritual gatherings once in 1 hour a week, and you feed that white wolf, what are you doing the rest of the time? You're feeding the dark wolf. Which one's going to be better? Which one's going to grow faster? The one that you're feeding the most. So if you want to grow spiritually, if you want to grow and feed the white wolf and have that white wolf grow, if you want to become more spiritual, if you want to become more enlightened, if you want to become more of the person that you want to be and follow your passion and find your purpose, then you need to feed the white wolf and do this stuff in a regular, daily, hourly manner. Not just an hour a week, 3 hours a week, not just at chosen times, but all the time. These tools help us. These tools are great, but we have to get inside ourselves. So with all of that going on, we have to know that there are ways to be guided to do what we have to do. That guidance can come from spirit, guidance can come from angels, guidance can come from other spirits, and guidance can come from meditation. So next week we're going to get into a little bit of meditation, and we're going to explain some stuff about how to start going a meditation. The very basics. This is for beginners next week. So let's follow that through and see how to become one with ourselves. Keeping in mind that this is a process. You don't meditate once, you don't go to the Reiki master once, you don't go to the crystal healer once. It didn't take you a day to get where you are. You go to them more than once. You go to them until you are able to become one. Many of us, that's a lifetime. I have a Reiki practitioner that does Reiki on me once a week. I have books that I read constantly. I'm constantly spiritually seeking. I'm constantly looking at television, spiritual things on TV. I'm constantly seeing what I can do to create a more spiritual person and to follow my path and to become the person that my purpose is giving me to be. So as we do this, we start out slowly. We start out with baby steps. And you're not going to even notice some of the changes in you. The people around you will notice changes before you. They might not even think they're very good changes because they're not doing the same thing, so they don't understand your growth. But they're going to see the changes in you, and you're not going to see them for maybe a year, maybe 2 years. It was probably 5 years before I saw any real changes in myself, and only as I looked backwards, not as I looked at what I was doing today. So this is a process. This is a change of lifestyle to become one with yourself, to become one with everything that goes on with you, and to find where it is, keeping in mind that you're not going to be given a recollection of a core issue before your time, before you're able to deal with it. We have a lot to deal with because all of these influences throughout our lives. So we have to take the time to start wherever it is that is right for you, wherever it is that you are guided to start at, and move into yourself, using the tools that we're given around us to help us do that, but not depending on them to do the fixing. So if you like this video, subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button. Until next time.